So I felt like this video needed something to kind of break it up. It's a lot of music and drawing and painting, which we love, but I did want to talk a little bit about the process. So as you can probably tell, I'm doing a self-portrait. I guess you wouldn't know that if you don't know what I look like, but I'm doing a self-portrait. And I've done so many self-portraits in the past, but I just love them so much. But not because I love the way I look or anything. But a lot of artists use themselves as references, and I feel like it's like the easiest reference. Like, you're always around yourself, so you always have yourself as a reference, and you can take pictures and everything like that. And I just really like having self-portraits. I think it's cool. I think it's kind of fun to like look back and be like, oh, that's what I looked like at that age. And that was my skill level at the time. So if you didn't know, I'm actually in grad school right now, and I don't know why I decided to do a full oil painting self-portrait in the middle of grad school. It was a little stressful, but I think I just I needed to get it out. I needed to do some kind of oil painting or something for myself. So I got the idea for doing a self-portrait because there is a local gallery doing an exhibition for women artists, and the whole theme was like making her mark, like making your mark on the world as a woman. And unfortunately I didn't get to do the exhibition because I did not submit my painting on time because I'm bad at preparing, and that's okay because it made me do an oil painting, so it's fine. But yeah, so that was kind of the inspiration for this painting. I've also heard a lot of traditional artists talk about this thing, and I'm sure there's a name, I don't remember, but it's kind of like making your own official self-portrait of yourself as an artist, like in your style. And a lot of times that can be seen with like traditional artists back in the day, and like oil painting, and like a lot of women artists, it was like a thing to have like an official portrait of yourself that you painted. And I think I saw a little Star Nerd on YouTube talk about it, and she did like a video about like starting her self-portrait, her official self-portrait in oil paint. And so that was also kind of another thing where I was like, I haven't done a traditional self-portrait in a while, and I think it'd be cool to kind of have this like official realistic portrait of what I look like right now, which a lot of times is just like kind of stressed and no makeup and working on art in school. And I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video, but I really wanted to depict like a realistic version of how I look today. Also, if anyone's curious, the oil paint I'm using is not normal oil paint. So I love traditional oil painting, but I think just being in grad school and like being a little time limited, I wanted to use something that was not so slow drying and maybe a little bit easier to work with. So I have these oil paintings that I kind of totally forgot that I had, and they're called Duo Aqua Oil, and they're really cool. They're basically oil paints, but they're water soluble, so you don't need to use like Gamsol or like a drying like medium or anything to like clean the brushes. You just need water, which is pretty cool. And I think they act like really similar to oils. I'd have to do like an in-depth like comparison to notice any difference, but I feel like they acted pretty similar to oils in my experience. I will say, if anyone uses these, please use your normal oil paint brushes, because I don't know why in my mind I was like, it's water soluble, so I can use like watercolor brushes or like acrylic brushes. And yeah, I definitely ruined some brushes because the paint just did not come out. And I used water, I used Gamsol, and it didn't come out. It came out of like the oil paint brushes because it has like thicker like brush hairs. But yeah, so just be careful about that. I made that mistake, but you know, sometimes we lose some soldiers in the battle.
Well, I'm not sure that's exactly a capital offense.
Another thing I wanted to talk about was kind of like body image and self-image. I feel like these themes kind of come up a lot around self-portraits. But for this one in particular, when I took the reference picture, I think it was when I had just learned about the exhibition that I wanted to do this painting for. And I didn't have a reference picture yet, and so I was like, I'm just going to take one right now. And so I took one in my room, I set up my phone camera, and I don't think the picture is bad. It's not like a bad picture of me. When you saw it in the very beginning, but it's interesting because when I think about the picture, I'm like, I definitely wouldn't post it on Instagram. Like, it's not like it's not an Instagram worthy picture. Like, I feel like I'm like not really wearing that much makeup. I don't think I'm wearing any makeup, and my hair is like greasy and like in a half bun, like half falling down. Like it's basically what I look like on a day-to-day basis since I'm in grad school, and like if I'm not in class or whatever my internships, that's kind of what I look like. I just usually don't have makeup on, and I have like my hair in a messy bun, and I'm just like so small, and I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's basically what I look like. And I actually really like that I decided to use just like a spur of the moment picture, because I feel like it's more true to who I am. I feel like it wouldn't really be as interesting of a self-portrait if it was one of me like dolled up or like kind of presenting myself in like a better light. It's kind of just more real, which I think is really cool about self-portraits. And I've noticed a lot of my own self-portraits are like that too. I'm usually not wearing a ton of makeup. I want to capture how I look in that moment and during this time period. And I kind of look like this most of the time. And it's kind of like indicative of how my art journey has gone so far, and kind of like my interest in the subjects I'm painting. Like, I don't know if it's like this for every artist, but I feel like when I was younger, I painted much more idealized pictures of people. So I loved painting like the most beautiful women, and like usually their makeup was done and their hair was done, and like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like I still like drawing like beautiful women in my sketchbook or whatever, like beautiful people. But I feel like when it's more real and when it feels like real people on like a day-to-day basis, it's so much more interesting. Like I've loved drawing in my sketchbook and finding pictures on Pinterest or Google that are not like photo shoot pictures, or like picture that are not like from a photo shoot, or like pictures of a model, or at least they don't look as much like a photo shoot. They definitely could be a photo shoot. But yeah, I like painting like real people. Not that models aren't real people. But yeah, I just love painting people like in their natural environment, I guess. Or not in their natural environment, but in like daily life. And I really like the idea of like painting imperfections. And I think I saw like a TikTok trend a while ago of like painting pictures, like painting references of people who had like severe acne or like a disability, which I think is really beautiful, because it's good to like uplift those kinds of things and to find beauty in maybe something that someone might perceive as being negative or like not attractive. So yeah, I love that idea. And I feel like most people wouldn't even know like what I'm insecure about if I just didn't talk about it. They'd be like, that picture looks normal. I mean, I don't know. But and I feel like most people don't even know what other people are insecure about. Like when I look at that picture of myself, I think the most thing I'm insecure of is like my neck and like my chin and it not being very defined. And like I've definitely gained like a little weight in grad school from stress. And so that's what I focus on, but someone else might look at that and see something different. They might be like, actually, your nose is kind of big, or or like, oh my gosh, your freckles are so cute, or whatever. Like, but someone else might look at that picture and notice something different, or actually like the things that I'm insecure about, which is like a pretty basic level conversation about like insecurities, but I still think it's really important. And it's kind of cool as an artist to do stuff like this, because not a lot of people get a chance to stare at a picture of themselves for hours, and it's a lot more therapeutic than maybe you would think, and it kind of just turns into like, I'm not really looking at myself, I'm looking at the shapes and colors and angles of everything and trying to make it realistic and trying to capture my likeness and stuff like that.
you who think this is a big waste, I'm sorry, it kind of is, but here's sketchbook 114. I love how watercolors look on this. It'd be really fun to go back to this and actually do like a fully colored illustration about like Freddie and Chica having like a animated like baking show or something. That is just really cute idea too.
So I was gifted this Nespresso for Christmas by Brandon's family. Excuse my hair, looking a little ratty right now. I'm trying really hard to like look at my life as the day-to-day and like taking things as they come and trying to make every day a fresh start, you know what I mean?
And this sketchbook painting is one of my favorite ones because
Shopify helps you sell at every stage of your business. Like that, let's put it online and see what happens stage.
Because we said that we're getting our life together.
But I just got like the angled version because
I can see it.
you know.
All he's doing is stand up.
Did an MTV Pimp My Crib tour.
Yeah.
Really?
He's like,
Do
yeah, come on
people even
down.
say crib anymore?
No.
No, that's like an
No.
old term. I was thinking it might be old.
Only that part is stuck in my head because I don't know the rest of it.
I missed it. I still didn't get it. Didn't get it.
At a certain age, the child is grown.
That's not
At a certain age, the child is grown and puts away childish things.
Now, I do want to talk about the background. I think whenever I do backgrounds, I struggle. Specifically when oil painting or acrylic painting, any kind of painting, I struggle a lot with backgrounds. And I think it might be multiple things. It might be like lack of experience. And like I haven't had a ton of time to practice and experiment because I'm in grad school right now for something that's not focused on like studio art. But yeah, I don't know. I always kind of struggle with backgrounds, but I do like how this one turned out. And something that helped me that I kind of like figured out for myself, like I want to say like my last year of like undergrad for studio art. And I don't really know if it's good advice, but it kind of just helps me like get over the fear of background sometimes. And it's helped me in a lot of my paintings. But sometimes if I don't know what to do for a background and I feel like I'm trying to make it too pretty or too perfect, I tell myself to make like an ugly color, a quote unquote ugly color. Like the one I'm using right now is like a beautiful green. Like I really don't think it's ugly, but in my mind, I feel like green can be more of like an ugly color or like a muddy color. Like it's not the most beautiful, vibrant green. It's not like a sky blue. It's not like a sky blue. And I do actually go back in and change the color a little bit, make it more muted and gray. But I don't know why that has helped me a lot with like not taking backgrounds too seriously. It's just kind of like thinking like, it's okay, this can be an ugly color, it doesn't have to be pretty. And I usually like my paintings a lot more when they're a quote-unquote ugly color and not like a solid background. Like I really like when there's texture and interesting things to look at. So once again, I don't know if that's good advice, but that's what's helped me so far. So it'll be interesting to see what I learn about backgrounds in the future. Wait, is this too big? I might match that. Or is it too big? Okay. I can't touch it anymore!